Hi everyone, if you've been waiting for a tool like Manues to get access to, what if I told you that you can build your own personal AI agent today? One that can browse internet, collect data, even write custom messages without you writing a single line of code. To show you what it can do, I will be using a real-world example, building a system that research, sells it from LinkedIn job post, find a hiring manager, and write personalized outreach messages, all saved into a CSV. The goal is to show you how you can set these tools up step by step so that you can automate complex multi-step workflow without writing a single line of code. Is it too good to be true? Let me show you. Before I start building the agent, let me show you what is actually delivered. The agent has created this folder by itself. It's called a LinkedIn sales lead generator. The agent also created all these files within this folder. Let's open up this sample lead. I did ask for 10 lead from LinkedIn. So it's got 10 company names, industry, less than 150 employees, the website, company was founded, what stage the company is, any recent news about that company, mission statement, products and services it sells, target customer, and revenue potential score. The agent went in and did some scoring and what the revenue potential for this company is, cost reduction, and overall priority. Then it also finds the manager's name, title, LinkedIn, URL, work history, education and experience, LinkedIn activity, talks about 3 weekly posts about sales productivity, mutual connection, published content. There's so much information here, and we can use this information to personalize outreach, which will give you a better chance to convert this potential lead to a paying customer. Let's look at some of the other files that the agent created. The agent already created an email template for us to use. The information is collected. It uses information from its researchers and which were job posting for a sales executive at Tech Serve Solution, and was particularly interested in the requirement that technical aptitude to understand service offering, something critical in today's IT service landscape. The sales executive you're hiring will directly benefit by spending less time on administrative tasks and more time building relationships with healthcare and professional service clients. Would you be available for a 15-minute call next Tuesday? P.S. I noticed that you were awarded the Australia Technology Award 2020. I'd love to hear what sales productivity measures contributed to this achievement. The README file is basically the prompt I have given the AI agent. This is all I have actually inputted, nothing else. So now you can see what it can deliver. This is just one example. There are so many other use cases you can use this agent. Now let's build this agent. I'll be using one tool and one extension within that tool. So the tool we'll be using called VS Code. It's a coding software where you can write programming code like Java, Python for developing various types of application. But I promise you don't have to write any code. In VS Code, you have access to various extensions, many supporting you writing codes. Like Cline is one of those extensions we'll be using to create our AI agent. Let me tell you a little bit about Cline. Cline is an AI assistant that helps you write and manage code. It works directly within the code editor like VS Code. You can create and edit file your project. It can run in your terminal, of course, with your permission. It can use browser to test website and application. The most important part with Cline is Cline can use Model Context Protocol, able to use browser. To extend its own capability, you have to go to the website to download the latest version of the VS Code for your operating systems. Once you download the latest version of the VS Code and install on your computer, that's what you'll be able to see. On the left-hand side, this is the navigation bar. We will be focusing on this part, extension. So once you click on the extension, just type Cline. For me, it's not giving me installation option because I already installed that in my VS Code, but for you to get an option to install. So install the Cline. And you also got some information if you wanted to read about it. Cline is supported by Cloud 3.7 Solid. Browse through this, there's some good information what it's capable of doing. In here, it's also talk about that the Cline is able to connect to MCP server. That's what it gives it its superpower. So once you install, you see this icon on your left. You might have to restart the VS Code. Once you've done that, you'll be able to see that. And then it will appear like this. First, what you need to do is you go to the settings. Once you go to the settings, you have two options. You got plan mode and you got an act mode. Plan mode is the Cline will plan for how you want to execute the task, and the act mode is basically go and execute. You can choose one model for plan and one model for act, because reasoning models are really good at planning things. You need to get your Anthropic API key. Let me show you how you can get that API key. You have to go to console.anthropic.com. Once you're logged in, head to the settings on the left, then API keys, and create API keys. I will not be creating an API key because I have already created one. Let's head back to client, get your API key, paste it in here, just leave as it is, then you can choose models. So if you choose to use different model, one thing you need to be careful about that, making sure that it supports 3 of these things, supports images, computer use, and prompt caching. quite a lot of models from memory. So you can either use Open Router, you can use DeepSeek, but DeepSeek doesn't support computer use. You can use OpenAI. It supports images, but it doesn't support computer use. I think Entropy is the one which supports computer use. You can give some custom instruction, but for me, I just leave it blank. I use the same model for plan and act. And advanced settings, actually, we don't have to do anything in the advanced setting at this point. Done. Then the next thing what we got to do is go and MCP server. So it's got a marketplace for different MCP servers you can use in your Cline extension. We can browse through this and have a look, and there are some interesting one. The one I have installed is the browser tool, which gives the client the ability to browse through the web browser. And the other one I installed is Firecrawl. It gives the ability to search through internet. These are the basic tool I have given. I haven't given any more. I could give a lot more, but just leave it as basic. We need to plan the task. So today we'll be doing a sales research example to find potential client to sell our AI automation. But this is just one use case. You could use this same setup for market research, competitor analysis, or anything you name it, anything you can think of. And let me show you my prompt before I put it in here. Here's the prompt. In a high-level objective, we're asking the agent to do is find 5 leads from job board like Seek, Indeed, or LinkedIn who are hiring sales executive or agent. Extract details, company, and hiring manager information. Research each lead and create a customized cold email template for each prospect. I'm intentionally leave it very open. I want it to choose which website to collect information. Let's see which one it picks. Then break down each of the steps, step 1 up to step 5, which is the delivery. This delivery is the export. And then I provide an example, but I don't think I'm going to put the example in the prompt. It's getting too long. Let's copy the prompt. Head back to agent. For now, it's processing the information. I understand that you want to find sales executive job posting in Australia. Research the companies and hiring manager and create personalized cold in targeting this potential with your AI automation solution for revenue growth. And you can also see how much it's costing for each response. For this one, it cost me 8 cents. So it's also technical implementation plan. What it's going to do is it will use Firecrawl search and Fire scrape. And then it goes details into talk about how it's going to deliver. So it will create templates. It will create follow-up emails, 3 LinkedIn messages templates. And then, it's also got some question before it starts. Listen, number 2. Do you like me to prioritize any particular job board? Let's do I let you choose. Are there any additional company criteria beyond size less than 150, location? No. Is there anything specific about your automation solution that would be particularly relevant to mention in the outreach messages? Not at the moment. It's done a refined implementation plan. Act. So now what's happening in the background is that you're actually going and execute those implementation plan. As you can see, it's trying to access the LinkedIn job search tool. Now it's trying for Seek.com. The client is working in the background to scrape the data from the website. While it's scraping that out, let's go through what we have on the screen. One of the important information you can see is the API cost. The cost associated with each of the requests you can see in here. It's interesting that it's using the Firecrawl web search and Firecrawl scraping. So it's using the Firecrawl search tool to research the company. It's selected. Now we can see on the right side of the screen that it's drafting the email template. As you can see, the client is telling us that now it's got enough information on the job board. So it selected the companies. I can also see that it created a file on my desktop and it's generating all the information based on the research it has done. Also, it takes a little bit of time to complete all the tasks. The time it takes depends on the task you have given it. As you can see, it's finally completed. When you see the green text, that means the task is completed and it actually summarizes what it actually done as part of the task. It's basically saying I have created a comprehensive sales lead generation and outreach package focusing on companies hiring sales executives in Australia. The package includes, so these are the 5 companies it picked. Also, it included the template. This is the spreadsheet the VS Code actually created for us through Cline extension. Let's go through. So we do have 5 companies. We have the company URL, company website, all the companies less than 150 because that was one of our condition. Industry. We did say service industry, but we didn't actually specify what type of service industry. So I think it's just went and picked a couple of automotive recent company achievement or news based on the search is done. Company core offering, wholesale automotive sales and distribution with high value sales proposition. Hiring manager, title, LinkedIn, background, mutual connection. Not sure mutual connection to who. And because the agent doesn't know my LinkedIn connection, so I don't know why it's created a column which is a mutual connection. But anyway, so then the job ad itself, and here's the important, here's our initial emails. Let's have a look what they have created and make it bigger. Let's read the first one. Hi David, I noticed your job posting in for a sales executive at Motorflex, Australia's largest vehicle wholesaler. I'm not sure about that. What caught my attention was your focus on motivated individual who can drive growth in your wholesale operation. My company is specialized in AI automation solution that helps automotive wholesaler reduce operational cost while increasing sales velocity. Our client typically sees, this is really important, 15 to 20% increase in sales throughput with 30% less admin cost. Blah, blah, blah. Then it went on, talks about a little bit of Motorflex. And this is the call to action. Would you be open to 15 minutes call next week to discuss how our AI automation could especially support your sales growth objective at Motorflex? Then also created a follow-up email, which is the subject line, then the actual email, follow-up 2, follow-up 3, follow-up 4. And then also created some LinkedIn message template to reach out to this David person through it. So there you have it. Now you have built a fully autonomous agent which can actually go out and do things for you. But also remember, this technology is still evolving. There are some limitation to it. Time to time, you might come across that where you need to have a login to access the site. Those who will not be able to access the site, it will need public URL. If the site requires login, you won't be able to access that site. Captcha protection can also block or slow it down. If the agent faces the captcha protection problem, maybe try alternative method. If the output of the agent is the message is generic, probably have a look at adjusting your prompt to get the right output. Sometimes it is a good idea to give them an example. That works most of the time. Keep playing with it and refine the prompt until you're happy with the output of the agent. I will include the link for you to download the prompt. Finally, this is not just workaround for Manues. This is more powerful because you're in control. Remember, client have access to MCP, and if you remember the video at the beginning that I'm only connected to MCP, and there's tons of more which you can connect your AI agent to, and that will gives you a lot more capabilities in terms of what the agent can do. If you're still with me and happy with the video, please give it a thumbs up, drop a use case in the comment, and I might build it next time. And finally, don't forget to subscribe. YouTube tell me that 95% of the people who watches my video doesn't subscribe. Please go ahead and subscribe, and until next time, see you and thank you.